Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are stripping away, all the marketing fluff, the shiny packaging, and the endless New Year, New You slogans. We're going to look at a biological mechanism that is, technically as old as humanity itself.
Right.
But somehow, in the age of convenience stores and 24-hour delivery, we've just completely forgotten how to use it.
It's the diet that isn't really a diet at all, is it?
Exactly. We're not talking about counting almonds until you cry or, eating food that tastes like wet cardboard. We are talking about intermittent fasting. And to guide us through this, because let's be honest, there's so much noise out there. We are diving into a massive body of work. Intermittent Fasting Mastery by TheDietDocs.
And massive is absolutely the right word. This isn't just a pamphlet or some quick blog post printed out.
No.
This is a comprehensive system. We're talking about a guide that covers the biochemistry of fat loss, muscle retention, biohacking.
All of it.
And this is what really blew my mind. It includes 365 days of meal plans.
That's essentially unheard of in this space.
Completely.
Usually you get a week of recipes, maybe a month if you're lucky, and then it's just sort of, good luck, you're on your own.
Right, but the TheDietDocs have really laid out a year-long roadmap. And the core premise here is what hooked me immediately. They argue that we have fundamentally misunderstood our own machinery.
How so?
We've been told for decades that to keep the metabolic fire burning, we need to constantly be throwing logs on it. Eat every 2 hours, snack, graze, keep that blood sugar up.
The stoke the fire myth, I've lived by that. I think most people have.
Of course.
That fear that if you don't eat at 10 a.m., your metabolism is just going to pack its bags and leave town.
And this source argues that by doing that, we are essentially keeping our bodies in a state of perpetual metabolic congestion. The focus here shifts entirely.
Okay.
It's not just about what you eat, it's about when you eat. And the claim is pretty bold. Eating less often doesn't mean suffering more often.
That's the part I really want to challenge today, because the promise is waking up energized, laser-focused, burning fat effortlessly. But my reality, and I suspect the listener's reality, is usually waking up feeling groggy, hitting snooze 3 times, and needing a bagel or a latte immediately just to function.
Right, the sugar fix.
So is this natural state actually achievable, or is it just for people with, iron willpower?
To answer that, and to really understand why the suffering is actually optional, we have to look under the hood. The source uses an analogy that I think is just perfect for this.
Okay, I'm listening.
They describe the human body as a hybrid car.
Okay, a hybrid car. Am I a Prius, or are we talking something a little fancier?
Biologically, we're all high-performance hybrids.
Yeah.
Think about how a hybrid car works. It has 2 fuel sources, right? Gas and electricity.
Gas and electricity, got it.
Your body has 2 fuel tanks. Sugar, which is glucose, and fat.
Okay, so tank 1 and tank 2.
Exactly. Tank 1 is sugar. This comes from the food we eat, carbohydrates, sugars, even proteins get converted to some extent. It's really easy to access, it burns fast, and it provides these quick bursts of energy.
So that's the battery in the hybrid.
That's the battery. And then you have tank 2.
Which is the fat.
Tank 2 is fat. This is your reserve tank. It's incredibly dense, it's slow burning, and crucially, it is massive. Even a very, very lean person has tens of thousands of calories stored away in their fat tank.
And the problem is we never use tank 2.
Precisely. In the modern world, we are constantly, and I mean constantly, topping off the sugar tank.
Breakfast, snack, lunch.
Snack, dinner, midnight snack.
Yeah.
The tank never, ever runs dry. So the body literally never gets a chemical signal to switch over to the fat tank.
So we're driving around with a full tank of premium gas, our body fat, but we're panicking every time the little battery icon starts flashing.
That is the perfect way to put it. You get hangry, you get shaky, you get brain fog.
Yeah.
That isn't true starvation. That is just your body throwing a tantrum because its preferred easy fuel source is dipping. And it doesn't remember how to access the backup generators.
But the switch is rusty.
Exactly. The source explains that intermittent fasting is simply the act of letting that sugar tank run dry, so the engine is forced to flip the switch.
And that switch is the metabolic magic we're all looking for.
It is. It's what they call the metabolic switch. According to the data in the book, this typically happens around the 12 to 16-hour mark of fasting.
12 to 16 hours.
Yeah. When the liver glycogen, that's the stored sugar, is depleted, the body shifts from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. It starts breaking down body fat into fatty acids and, crucially, ketones.
Ketones. Okay, we hear that buzzword all the time. Keto diet, ketosis. It's on every magazine cover.
Right. But you don't need to eat a stick of butter to get them. Fasting produces them naturally. Ketones are like high-octane jet fuel for the brain. They cross the blood-brain barrier so easily and provide a cleaner, more consistent energy source than glucose. That's where that laser focus comes from that you mentioned in the intro.
So the brain fog I feel when I skip breakfast isn't a lack of fuel, it's the transition. It's the engine sputtering before the second engine kicks in.
Precisely. It's the engine sputtering because the mechanism is rusty. We haven't used it in years, maybe decades. But once you become metabolically flexible, as the diet docs call it, that switch becomes seamless. You just glide from sugar to fat without the crash.
Okay, so we switched to fat burning. That's obviously great for the waistline. But the source talks about something else, a cleaning crew. This sounded a bit more sci-fi to me, but also incredibly compelling.
This is my favorite part of the science. It's a process called autophagy.
Autophagy, it sounds like a creature from the deep.
Well, it literally comes from the Greek for self-eating.
That sounds terrifying. The self-eating is coming.
In a horror movie, yes. In biology, it's a miracle. Think of it this way. When you are in fed state, so eating constantly, your cells are in growth mode. They are busy processing new nutrients, dividing, building.
Like a factory running at 100% capacity, 247?
The production line never stops.
Right.
But because that line is moving so fast, they don't stop to clean up the floor. Waste accumulates, damaged proteins, broken organelles, just general cellular debris just piles up in the corners of the cell.
The factory gets messy.
Extremely messy. And that mess leads to aging, inefficiency, and cellular dysfunction. Autophagy is the night shift cleaning crew.
Okay.
It only clocks in when the production line stops. When you stop eating, your insulin levels drop, and the cells get the signal. Okay, no new raw materials coming in. Let's look around and see what we can recycle.
So the cells literally start eating their own junk.
They hunt down the damaged proteins and the cellular trash, break them down, and recycle them into new, healthy parts. The source emphasizes that this process is just critical for longevity. It's linked to protection against Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even cancer.
And there's a Nobel Prize attached to this, right? This isn't just some internet bro science.
No, this is hard science.
Yeah.
Yoshinori Ohsumi won the Nobel Prize in Physiology in 2016, specifically for discovering the mechanisms of autophagy.
Wow.
This is legitimate biology. But here's the kicker. If you are snacking until 11:00 p.m., the cleaning crew never shows up.
You're firing the janitor every single night.
Exactly. You're living in a dirty factory. And over decades, that accumulation of cellular junk is what contributes to what we call aging.
That is a powerful image. It makes you want to fast just to tidy up the place. But I have to play the skeptic here for a second.
Please do.
We've been conditioned to believe that if we don't eat, our metabolism crashes. The starvation mode boogeyman. If I fast for 16 hours, won't my body think we're dying and just hold on to every ounce of fat?
That is probably the single most pervasive myth the diet docs aim to dismantle. And the answer, unequivocally, is no.
Really? Because I've had trainers tell me to eat 6 small meals a day to keep the fire burning.
It's nutritional mythology. The source breaks down the physiology here beautifully. Starvation mode, where your metabolic rate genuinely slows down, is a real thing.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen after missing breakfast. It happens after weeks of severe caloric restriction and getting to very low body fat percentages.
Okay, so skipping a bagel isn't going to trigger it.
Far from it. In the short term, and we're talking fasts of up to 72 hours, the data shows your metabolic rate actually increases.
Increases? That seems completely counterintuitive. Why would the body burn more energy when there's no food coming in?
Think about it evolutionarily. Let's go back 10,000 years. You haven't eaten in a day. If your body responded by shutting down, making you tired, cold, and lethargic, what would happen?
I'd starve. I wouldn't have the energy to find food. I'd just curl up in the cave and that's it.
Exactly, you'd die. So biology does the exact opposite. When food is scarce, the body pumps you full of norepinephrine, that's adrenaline. It releases stored fat for energy. It sharpens your senses. Your body is biologically screaming, get up, go hunt, go find a mammoth.
So that jittery energy some people feel isn't anxiety, it's hunting fuel.
Correct. You are primed to perform better in a fasted state, not worse. The sluggishness people feel when they skip a meal is usually sugar withdrawal, not a lack of energy.
It's the hybrid car panicking.
It's the hybrid car panicking because it hasn't switched tanks yet.
Okay, I'm sold on the concept. The car runs better, the factory gets cleaned, and the hunter wakes up. But practically speaking, how do we actually do this? Because just stop eating sounds easy, but life gets in the way.
It does.
The book isn't a one-size-fits-all mandate, is it?
No, and that's why it's called Mastery. It offers a menu of methods. You have to pick the one that fits your life, or you'll never stick to it. The diet docs are huge on sustainability.
Okay, let's run through the menu. What's the entry-level option?
The gateway drug to fasting is the 16.8 method.
16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating.
Right. This is the most popular one because it's the path of least resistance. I mean, you sleep for 8 hours of it.
True.
You basically just skip breakfast. You start eating at noon, and you finish your dinner by 8 p.m.
So for the busy professional, the person rushing out the door, this is actually a life hack. No decisions in the morning, no dishes.
Exactly. You get your morning back, you ride that natural cortisol and coffee wave, and we'll definitely talk about coffee in a second. And you don't even worry about food until lunch. It just removes an entire stressor from the morning routine.
But what if I want to turn the dial up? The source talks about the warrior diet, 20.4. That sounds intense.
Now we're getting into the more advanced territory. 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of eating.
Wow.
This is based on the idea of ancient warriors who would march all day on an empty stomach and then feast at night.
So it's basically one giant meal.
One huge meal and maybe a small snack. The benefit here is that you spend much more time in deep ketosis. You get more autophagy because the cleaning crew has a longer shift. But psychologically, it's great for the volume eater.
The volume eater? What's that?
You know the type. The person who hates eating a tiny salad and pretending they're full.
Yes, I know that person.
They want to feel stuffed. They want Thanksgiving dinner every night. With 20.4, because you have such a short window, you can sit down and eat a massive, satisfying meal. I mean, really feast, and still be in a caloric deficit for the day.
That's really interesting. So if you're an all-or-nothing personality, this might actually be better than grazing all day.
Exactly. It's about matching the method to the mindset.
Yeah.
But then you have the social butterfly.
Right.
The person who has client lunches, family brunches, dinner dates. 20.4 is a nightmare for them.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the person sipping water while everyone else eats pizza. That's a fast track to losing friends, not just weight.
For them, the source suggests the 5.2 method.
Okay, walk us through that one.
5 days a week, you eat totally normally. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you want. No restrictions.
Okay.
But on 2 non-consecutive days, say a Monday and a Thursday, you restrict your calories to about 500 or 600.
So it's not a full fast, but more of a simulated fast.
It's a severe caloric break. It triggers many of the same benefits, but it allows you to be normal on the weekends or during social events. It's all about flexibility.
I like that.
And the book emphasizes you can switch between these. You might do 16.8 most days and then throw in a 5.2 week when you're traveling or have a busy social calendar.
That feels sustainable. But let's get into the weeds, because the devil is in the details, and the most common question, the one that probably breaks the most fasts, is, what can I have while I'm fasting?
Rules of engagement.
Yeah.
This is where people trip up constantly. And the diet docs are very strict here because, well, biology is strict.
What's the rule?
The golden rule is anything that spikes insulin breaks the fast.
Okay. Coffee, the elixir of life. Please say yes.
Black coffee is safe. In fact, it's encouraged. The caffeine actually boosts your metabolic rate and fat oxidation. It also stimulates autophagy in its own right. Green tea, black tea, herbal tea, all good.
Water, sparkling water.
Essential. Drink gallons of it. Seriously.
Okay, now for the tragedy. I think I know the answer, but I have to ask for the listeners. What about a splash of cream? Just a tiny little splash of almond milk. Or maybe some of those keto-friendly sweeteners.
The source calls this the tragic reality.
It is tragic.
It really is. But the answer is no. Even a tiny amount of cream, milk, or sugar initiates a nutrient-sensing pathway in the body called MTR.
MTR. That sounds like a villain in a sci-fi movie.
Think of MTR as the growth switch. As soon as MTR is activated by protein or carbs, autophagy stops immediately. The cleaning crew goes home, the factory turns back on.
Even if it's organic, grass-fed, blessed by monk's cream.
Even if the Pope himself blessed the cow. The biology doesn't care about the branding. If you consume it, you might still lose weight because of calories.
Right.
But you lose the cellular benefits. You turn off the magic.
Brutal, but good to know. So what about the gray zone? The source mentions dirty fasting. Is that when you eat a burger in secret?
No. This is the loophole. Some people find that a tiny bit of pure fat-like MCT oil or a bit of heavy cream helps them get through the hunger pangs without spiking insulin too much.
Because fat doesn't spike insulin the way sugar does.
Correct. It's a dirty fast.
Yeah.
You'll probably stop autophagy, but you might stay in ketosis, the fat-burning state.
So a trade-off.
Exactly. If your goal is strictly weight loss and hunger management, A duty fast can work. If your goal is deep cellular repair and longevity, you need to be clean. Water and black coffee only.
Got it. Now, speaking of hunger management, the fear of hunger is the biggest barrier for most people. I'm going to be miserable.
Right.
The source talks about wave theory.
This is a crucial mental shift. We tend to visualize hunger as this linear ascending line. I'm hungry at 10 a.m. At 11 a.m., I'll be even hungrier. At 2 p.m., I will be ravenous. By 4 p.m., I will be dead.
Right. It feels like an ascending staircase of doom.
But physiologically, hunger is a wave. It is driven by a hormone called ghrelin.
Ghrelin, the growling hormone.
Exactly. Ghrelin pulses. It rises, it peaks, and then if you don't feed it, it subsides. It just disappears.
You just have to surf the wave.
Precisely. And often, that feeling of hunger isn't even a need for calories, it's a need for salt.
Salt, really?
Yes. When your insulin levels drop, which is the goal of fasting, your kidneys start dumping water and electrolytes, specifically sodium.
Oh.
This creates that zombie mode, the headaches, the dizziness. People are like, oh, I need food. No, you need electrolytes.
So a pinch of salt in my water could actually save my fast.
Absolutely. The book emphasizes sodium, potassium, and magnesium. If you keep your minerals up, the hunger waves are much smaller and your energy remains high. It's almost a biohack in itself.
That's a pro tip right there. Now let's talk about the mastery part of the title. This book goes way beyond just skipping breakfast. There's some serious biohacking in here. They talk about temperature, fire, and ice.
This is for the optimizers. The people who want to squeeze every last drop of efficiency out of their bodies.
Let's start with the cold. They recommend finishing your shower with cold water.
30 to 60 seconds of cold water.
Why? I hate the cold. Why on earth would I do this to myself?
Because it activates something called brown fat.
Brown fat? I thought all fat was bad.
Most of our fat is white fat. That's the storage stuff we want to get rid of. Brown fat is metabolically active tissue. Its job is to generate heat.
Okay.
When you get cold, brown fat turns on and starts burning calories to warm you up. It's like turning on an internal furnace.
So I'm freezing, but I'm literally burning fat to stay warm.
Exactly. Plus, the cold shock boosts norepinephrine, that adrenaline we talked about, which further liberates fat from the white fat cells. You're stacking the benefits of the fast with the benefits of the cold.
And what about the sauna, the heat?
Heat exposure works on the other end of the spectrum. It increases something called heat shock proteins. These proteins help repair damaged structures inside the cell. So if autophagy is the cleaning crew taking out the trash, heat shock proteins are the handymen fixing the broken windows.
So fasting plus cold plus heat equals a total cellular renovation.
You are turning your body into a regeneration machine. And it just shows the depth of this book. It's connecting dietary habits with environmental stressors for a synergistic effect. It's brilliant.
I love it. But there's one more timing trick, circadian rhythm optimization. This one sounds difficult socially, but really interesting biologically.
It is the most biologically effective and probably the most socially annoying strategy.
Okay, go on.
Our bodies are tied to the sun. We are more insulin sensitive in the morning. Our metabolism is hottest early in the day.
Right.
So biologically, the perfect eating window is an early window, say 8:00 to 4:00 p.m.
So you eat breakfast, eat lunch, and then skip dinner.
Correct. The data in the book shows this leads to better weight loss and better blood sugar control than eating the exact same food from 12:00 to 8:00 p.m.
But who wants to stop eating at 4 p.m.? That means no family dinner, no going out on dates, no evening social life at all.
That's the trade-off. The mid window, 12 to 8, is the social standard because it fits our lives. The early window is the biological standard.
What do they suggest?
The source suggests that if you hit a plateau, or if you have a specific health goal, try switching to the early window for a few weeks. It might be what you need to break the stall.
Okay, let's pivot to the gym, because this is the other huge fear. If I don't eat before I train, I'll pass out, or I'll lose all my muscle. How does fasting fit with being an athlete?
The book devotes a huge section to this, specifically debunking the fainting in the squat rack myth.
I've had that fear. The barbell crushing me because I didn't have a banana beforehand.
The strategy really depends on your goal. If you want to burn fat, they recommend fasted training in what's called Zone 2.
Define Zone 2 for us.
Zone 2 is the fat-burning sweet spot. It's a cardio intensity where you're working, but you can still hold a conversation. Just barely. It's about 60–70% of your max heart rate.
And why is this zone special for fasting?
Because at this intensity, the body's preferred fuel source is fat. If you go harder into Zone 3 or 4, like sprinting or heavy CrossFit, The body demands glucose.
Right.
If you're fasting, you don't have glucose circulating. That's when you bonk. That's when you feel terrible.
So if I'm fasting, I should keep my cardio steady. Zone 2.
Zone 2 taps directly into your fat stores. You become a fat oxidizing machine. It's like draining the tank directly.
But what about muscle? I mean, can I get jacked on intermittent fasting, or will I just wither away into a skinny runner?
You can absolutely build muscle. In fact, there's a hormonal advantage that most people have no idea about.
Tell me.
Human growth hormone, HGH.
Ah, the holy grail.
It is the holy grail for muscle preservation and growth. During a fast, because insulin is so low, HGH levels just skyrocket. The source cites data showing increases of up to 500%.
500%. So 5 times the normal amount.
5x, it's like natural doping. It's the body's way of protecting muscle mass while you look for food. The body is smart. It knows you need muscles to hunt. So if you train fasted, you are training in this high HGH environment.
But you still need protein to build muscle. When do you eat it?
That's the key.
Oh.
You don't need to eat during the workout. You need to hit your total daily protein target within your eating window.
And what's that target?
The DietDocs recommend roughly 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of your body weight.
So if I weigh 180 pounds, I need like 180 grams of protein.
Roughly, yes. And if you're doing 16.8, you have 8 hours to get that in.
That is a lot of chicken.
It is a lot of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hit that number, the data shows you will not lose muscle. You might even gain it while losing fat. The protocol is simple. Train fasted, break your fast with high protein. Your muscles will act like a sponge.
Okay, that seems manageable, but we need to pause and address a very specific demographic here. Because men and women are not biologically identical, especially when it comes to hormones.
Yes.
The section on special considerations for women was really eye-opening.
This is so crucial. I'm glad we're stopping here because so many generic fasting guides just ignore this completely. The source is very clear. Women's bodies are more sensitive to famine signals.
It's an evolutionary safety mechanism, right, to protect fertility.
Yes, exactly. A woman's body is designed to prioritize reproduction. It monitors energy availability very, very closely through hormones like kisspeptin.
Kisspeptin, I have not heard that one before.
It's a master regulator hormone.
Yeah.
In women, kisspeptin is extremely sensitive to stress and to calorie deficits. If the body thinks, oh no, there's no food, we're in a famine, it will start to shut down the reproductive system to save energy.
And how does that show up? What are the warning signs?
Irregular periods, hair loss, anxiety, major sleep disturbances, or just feeling cold and awful all the time.
So should women just avoid IF altogether?
Not avoid, but adapt. The warrior approach, 20.4 every single day might be way too stressful for some women. The book recommends something called crescendo fasting.
Crescendo, like in music.
Exactly. Building up, but with breaks. So instead of fasting every day, you fast on non-consecutive days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
So you're sending a gentler signal. Hey, we're taking a break from food, but don't worry, we aren't actually starving.
Precisely. It keeps the body feeling safe. And they also talk about cycle syncing.
Ah, listening to your monthly cycle.
Yes. In the week before menstruation, that's the luteal phase, the body's metabolic rate actually goes up. It needs more energy, it's more stress reactive, progesterone is high. This is not the time to do aggressive fasting.
That explains the cravings.
Right. That's biology speaking to you. The source suggests that during that week, you should ease off. Widen the eating window, maybe just do 12.12, eat some good quality carbohydrates, work with your biology, not against it.
That is such valuable nuance. It's not just tough it out. It's about listening to the feedback your own body is giving you.
Which brings us back to the sheer value of this book series. We've covered a lot of theory, autophagy, hormones, circadian rhythms. But at the end of the day, we all face the same problem. It's 6:00 p.m. I'm hungry. What do I eat?
And this is where the 365 days of meal plans comes in. I was flipping through these in the source material, and I was so relieved. It's not just boiled chicken and broccoli.
Not at all. The DietDocs position this as Diets 101. It's really a culinary education.
I saw grass-fed beef stir-fry. I saw avocado stuffed with tuna salad.
And protein-rich cake alternatives.
You had me at cake alternatives.
The variety is the key to sustainability. If you try to eat the same boring diet food every single day, you will eventually rebel and eat an entire pizza.
Oh, yeah.
By having a different plan for every single day of the year, they completely remove the decision fatigue.
Decision fatigue is the enemy. If I have to think about what to cook when I'm already hungry, I'm going to make a bad choice every time.
Exactly. They just hand you the roadmap. And they emphasize Blue Zone-inspired recipes. Foods that aren't just low-calorie, but nutrient-dense and linked to longevity. It's a massive amount of value. They aren't just selling a concept. They are giving you the tools to execute it for a full year.
It bridges that gap between the science and the kitchen. And honestly, for the free information and the depth of these meal plans alone, people really need to pick this up and subscribe to what the Diet Docs are doing.
Absolutely. And frankly, there is so much more in this source material we can't even cover today. We've scratched the surface, but there are these teasers in the book about 72-hour stem cell regeneration.
72 hours, that's a 3-day fast.
Yes, we've been talking about 16 hours. But when you push into 3, 4, or 5 days, really weird things start to happen. The immune system basically breaks itself down and rebuilds from scratch using stem cells. It's incredibly powerful stuff.
And also dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Correct. You need to know the refeeding protocols. You need to know how to break a fast that long so you don't get sick. That's why you need the full guide. Don't just stop eating for 3 days because you heard it on a deep dive.
Consider that the legal disclaimer. Get the book.
Exactly. The source also touches on some advanced ninja biohacks involving specific supplements and timing protocols that can amplify autophagy even further. But again, you need the manual to run the machine safely.
So let's land the plane here. We've stripped away the biochemistry and the meal plans. What is the core message? If the listener takes one thing away from the Diet Docs, what should it be?
I think the core message is found in a quote from their intro. Hunger is temporary. You are stronger than you thought.
I love that.
We live in a world of constant consumption. We are told we're fragile. Marketing tells us we need a snack bar to survive a meeting. We need a latte to survive the commute. We're constantly treating ourselves like we're about to run out of batteries.
We've become slaves to the sugar crash.
And intermittent fasting is about freedom.
The freedom to say no.
Yes. The freedom to realize that you can go for a walk, you can do deep work, you can travel, you can live your life without being tethered to a refrigerator. You have a backup fuel tank. That fat tank and learning to use it is just incredibly empowering.
It's a biological reset, but it's a mental one too. It proves to yourself that you are in control of your impulses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those who want to take this seriously, who want the detailed workout plans, the specific recipes, and the deep science of longevity, you really do need to dive into the full book series. The value proposition of having a year's worth of planning just done for you is unmatched.
It's a shortcut to being well-informed and, frankly, harder to kill. We've unpacked a lot today, from hybrid cars to cleaning crews to the tragedy of blessed cream. But there is always more to learn.
Always.
So here is a final thought to chew on, pun intended. If your body is capable of repairing itself, regenerating its own immune system, and sharpening your mind just by taking a break from food, what else is your body capable of that you haven't unlocked yet, simply because you're stuck in the default settings?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you on the next one.